So that guy was definitely practicing his Neo skills. He's really mastered the art of curving bullets. But what's going on, guys, in the works? And yes, I was victimized by the shoddy hit detection that does sometimes exist in Battlefield 3. But you guys know me, still same old G. I don't like complaining. That's not my thing. But I don't know what it is. As of late, it seems like there's been a lot of weird hit registration issues on Battlefield 3, at least on the PC side of things. It seems like I'm getting killed around the corner like 4 or 5 times a game, and I don't really think they've changed anything. I don't think they've tweaked any sort of settings or anything like that. I don't know, maybe I'm just noticing it more. I know a lot of people were not fans of client-side hit detection when the game came out. That was one of the huge criticisms of this game. If you recall, in the beta, you would go prone and just instantly die behind cover. That would happen all the freaking time. I mean, that was one of the biggest problems with the beta. But, you know, I never really experienced this issue. And if you're curious what my ping is on this server, it's around between like 25, 29. Sometimes it'll spike to like 30, 32, something like that. But this is one of my my home servers. This is one of the ones I play on quite frequently. So it's definitely always been a very solid server for me. Never really had any hit registration issues on this particular one. But lately, it doesn't matter where you're playing. I've been having issues with the Matrix bullets. And I think that just goes back into the client-side hit detection that we all know and love. Like I said, it was one of the things that so many people criticized Battlefield 3 at when it first came out. Because basically it allows hackers to be a bigger problem in a lot of people's eyes. Because now servers can't, you can't kind of police people via the server because the server doesn't control hit detection. It's client side, which means that where one person sees you on the screen, that's where the game's going to think you're at, and vice versa. I mean, there's a lot of factors that really goes into that. Ping, lag, I don't know, any sort of like input lag you may have on your monitor. There's a lot of factors that really kind of go into play into that. So I can't really comment on that a whole lot. I'm not a technical guru when it comes to that stuff, but I know that it's much more advantageous to have server-side hit detection because you can patrol hacks a little bit better. And that's why hacking was such a problem in this game, because people that's why they can kill you with a repair torch. I mean, that's one of the issues behind that. And like I said, I don't want to get too deep into that. But before we get too far along in this video, I know you guys are probably like sitting there gritting your teeth, like, man, talk about this weapon, because everybody gets mad when I don't mention the setup I'm using. But today I'm actually using one of my favorite setups in the game, and a lot of you guys have asked for me to show off some more setups that I really love, and the AS Val is definitely one of them. It's so versatile. You can put it on any of the classes because it is a PDW. But you've got to run extended mags on it, guys. Before, this thing didn't have extended mags back in the day. It actually took them a while to sit down and patch this to give it extended mags. But imagine a weapon that really doesn't have a whole lot of negative side effects from using a suppressor, because it's got a built-in suppressor. So the damage you see is the damage you get, and it's always suppressed. And that's one of the great things about it. This thing is actually a laser beam when it comes to accuracy, though. Even though it only shoots 333 meters per second, when it comes to being accurate, this weapon is deadly. It has no deviation when standing still aiming down sights. That's crazy. I mean, that's sniper rifle type accuracy for those first couple shots. Then recoil comes into play, so you do have to compensate for that. But the recoil is mostly up, and then as it falls back down, it kind of moves to the left and the right a little bit. If you watch this, it kind of goes up, and then as it falls back down, it kind of has some horizontal recoil, but not a ton. You can do work with this thing. It's actually it's got to be the best PDW. I mean, it's definitely the PDW that I've used the most. It's the most versatile. High rate of fire, pretty good magazine count. I mean, this is more like an assault rifle than what your typical PDW is, so you got to keep that in mind when using it. But the great thing about this weapon is it's a 20 damage weapon up close, and the drop off, it only drops off to 18.4. So you lose roughly 1.6 points of damage throughout its entire, drop off period. So that's like nothing. That's like it doesn't change at all. So this thing is deadly, deadly, deadly at long range for a PDW. And like I said, it does have a really low bullet velocity though, so you do have to keep that in mind. It can be a factor in certain situations. I guess if you're putting a high zoom scope on this and trying to snipe people, that can be a big problem. If you're trying to use it like the what was that? The VSS from Bad Company 2. I believe it was the VSS or something like that. It's very similar to that weapon. I don't think it's technically the same. I think there are some differences to it. You gun nuts can go in there and talk about that. I mean, I don't really know. I would feel kind of guilty if I went and looked it up and act like I did know. But they are similar. They follow the same lineage, I believe. But they're definitely not. This is definitely not a sniper rifle. This is definitely a PDW. Because like I said, it does have its limitations. But back to the topic at large, which is the hit registration. In Battlefield 4, I would really like to see some server-side hit registration. That's the one thing that I think really holds Battlefield 3 back at times. You know, we had the hacker problems. Now we're having a lot of hit registration problems. It's like you're dropping dead instantly. I noticed a lot on the Aftermath maps. I don't know what it is. I don't feel like that should be something that should be relegated towards the map. But when you play a lot on the Aftermath maps, I noticed I died much quicker. I don't know why that is. I cannot think of a reason why that would be the case. I mean, me personally, I don't think that it must just be placebo, but it's something about these maps. I feel like I'm playing in the Battlefield 3 Matrix. Luckily for me, when that happens, the AS Val tends to be a good choice because, like I said, the high rate of fire, the fact that you can be a little bit more stealthy with this thing, it makes you stay alive maybe just a tad bit longer. It maybe gives you that split second that you would normally lose to like the Matrix bullets. So that's why I have been using this thing a lot, and it's very stealthy. If you can get behind enemy lines and you can push people back, you can actually flank behind them with the AS Val and get multitudes of kills. You can reload this thing so quickly because it does have a very swift reload. That's one thing to keep in mind. So if you get stuck in the Battlefield 3 Matrix and you're looking for a weapon that's more versatile, you know, maybe you can use it on your support class and be a little bit more aggressive, definitely try out the AS Val because it is one of In The Works' favorite classes. And I like to run it with the Magnum. You guys see me use a multitude of sidearms, and I'm actually working on a sidearms video. But when it comes down to it, there's only like 3 or 4 sidearms I really like to use religiously, and the Magnum is one of them. And the reason why you see me use so many other sidearms is just because of the fact that I'm trying to get all my server stars. So I'm almost finished with that. I've got server stars with most of my sidearms, so once that's all said and done, you'll probably see me relegate back towards like the Magnum, the 1911 and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video though. I went on a pretty good rampage in this, and I left it more in the raw footage, showed you more of the deaths, showed you more of the high action moments with this, so you can kind of get an idea of how this weapon performs. It's definitely one of the best aggressive PDWs if you want a PDW that can reach out a little bit further, take people out at long range, super accurate, and at the same time you don't have to waste a spot for the suppressor because it's got a built-in one, so you don't have to waste an attachment spot on that. It's already built in. But if you missed my other videos, here's a chance to catch up, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.